can body image problems affect our mental health? Body image problems can feature in a range of mental health conditions, including depression, anxiety, and social phobias. In the case of body dysmorphic disorder, people can have a very distorted perception of their body and their appearance.
Mirrors and windows are my enemy on the days when I'm having a body dysmorphic disorder flare up.
I don't think anyone is 100% happy with their appearance, or I'm yet to meet somebody who is. But for me, this was just to the extreme.
People use mirrors within BDD to check their appearance in order to gather more data or information about how bad the part that they fear looks awful actually really is.
The lowest point for me was probably the third time I tried to kill myself. I felt disgusting, didn't want people to see me.
BDD is an obsessional anxiety disorder. People with BDD are sometimes seen as narcissistic because what is perceived is that there is an obsession with how they look. Actually, that's what happens as a result of detesting how they look, and their aim, typically, is just to look acceptable and normal. BDD is a shame-based disorder. A lot of people sit in silence with it because they don't know that it is actually an illness and that it's a treatable illness.
For some people, negative body image can be linked to disordered eating.
I was sectioned under the Mental Health Act because of anorexia. Then going from a size 4 to a size 20, using food as a compulsive overeating disorder to kind of numb myself in a different way.
The commonality between BDD and eating disorders is disordered eating, so that the eating potentially is disrupted. Now, a lot of people with BDD have a preoccupation and distress about an aspect of their appearance that doesn't have anything to do with eating. But for those that have an appearance problem that is, for example, their whole body shape, then that quite often includes disordered eating.
There's blurred lines between my eating disorders and my body dysmorphic disorder. They do shift, and it's hard to tell the difference sometimes, but it is useful, so useful for me to have that language around which to talk about both these separate conditions, as well as, depression and anxiety still are things that I battle with regularly.
For me, my eating disorder was about addiction, obsession, and control. But I couldn't see what other people could see, and at the time, I didn't even realise that I got a problem.
Let's be honest, if you saw me in the street, you're not going to think, "Whoa, alpha male." Much more likely to think, "Oh, vegetarian."
A body image problem can become extremely dangerous. In the case of anorexia and bulimia, it may lead to very serious long-term health problems. And in the case of body dysmorphic disorder, it has one of the highest suicide rates of any psychiatric problem.
So what was your kind of breakthrough moment?
Somebody said to me, let's try a month where you live as if your body dysmorphic disorder is a mental health problem rather than being a physical problem. So just pretend for a month that there's not actually something wrong with you, there's something wrong with your mind, and see how it goes. So I was like, I guess I don't have anything to lose. And then having the really intense exposure therapy, working on my anxiety, that was the big change for me.
Exposure therapy means deliberately facing your fears in a way that's therapeutic. To help someone stop their compulsions, the most important thing for them is first to consider the effect of these strategies and how much they may in fact be worsening their preoccupation with their appearance.
I think one of the breakthrough moments for me for getting help was I slumped into depression and it became my normality. And as soon as I started to think that I could get rid of that I could get back to being the person that I enjoyed and actually start having fun again, that made recovery seem exciting and enjoyable rather than something that I was losing the anorexia, I was actually gaining my life back.
Sometimes I tell myself that I actually have great love and respect for my body. It's really helpful to calm myself down, to remind myself of how much I've put it through and how it's survived, it's sprung back and forth. Sometimes if I can't adore it, love it, at least I can respect it.
What's helped me most is having support from family and friends, and that isn't necessarily them understanding where I'm coming from, because mental health problems are really often irrational and won't make sense to them, but just being there for me and trying to still listen and sort of validate the way I'm feeling.
Recovery takes time, and some days are better than others. But if you are struggling, no matter how bad you feel right now, there is help out there. You just have to ask.
Thank you so much and have a good one. Goodbye. Thank you guys.